Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, we're live. We're in the studio, so get involved in the chat and the comments. Going to be talking about all the latest Manchester United news. Loads of news to get through. Going to be talking about the summer, midfield targets, what's going on there. Also, finances. Do United have any dough? What is going on? We were speaking about this last night on Paddock Live about the fact that United could put some money together. We could have money, obviously, if we qualify for the Champions League and if we finish high up the table. There's extra money to be earned there. But there's an article in The Athletic we'll be getting into about sponsorship deals, what's that going to look like, and other bits and pieces as well. And also we'll talk about Michael Carrick, obviously. So make sure if you're not doing so already, you are hitting that like button and you get involved in the comments. Good to see Santa Notch is here, Martin P's here, Real Recognises Real is here, Jacoya Trott is here, some of the usual suspects and some new ones as well. Welcome to you all. Let's talk about midfield targets then, because this is a hot topic. Fabrizio Romano has been speaking about not just who we're looking at, but who we didn't get in January and why we didn't get him. I think there was Wilfred and Didi was on the radar, but United decided not to get him. And I kind of get that. I feel like we spoke about Ndidi a few weeks ago. And I remember, it feels like going back about 4 or 5 years here. It feels like when Ollie was the manager, when we were linked with him when he was at Leicester. And he was a decent midfielder there. And you thought, yeah, okay, he could do a job for us. But right now, no, I don't know about that one. And I don't get into this idea of like, let's just get anyone. Just get someone in. I think you need to be better than that. You need to look at the targets and what they're going to bring to the team and the squad. And not just, well, we need some bodies. And Wilfred and Didi, I'm not going to pretend that I've watched loads of him at Besiktas, but it didn't feel like a really positive move. So we didn't go for him. But we do have other targets in the summer that we're looking at. And it's the usual suspects that we've spoken about over the last certainly since last summer. We've spoken about Adam Wharton, we've spoken about Carlos Baleba, we've spoken about Elliot Anderson. I think that these players are all on United's radar. You can see it here. I think this is coming from what Romano said and also from other sources as well. So it talks about, the players I've mentioned. They've all been identified as primary targets for 2026. Now, the question here is, who are we going to go for? Who can we get? Now, Champions League football, no Champions League football is obviously going to be important. It's going to be important on two fronts. One, to attract players. Someone like Elliot Anderson, I think he's going to be the main one who's in demand. There's talk of Manchester City going after him as well. If they go after him, it's going to be difficult because whilst Manchester United are a far bigger club than Manchester City, you go into City, you're almost guaranteed to win things, aren't you? Well, we can't really argue that case at Manchester United. Plus, you're in the Champions League, that's a given. You might even be joining the champions if they end up overtaking Arsenal at the top of the table. You could say that about United as well. So if City go for Anderson, is that going to cause problems for me at Manchester United? Would he prefer a move to the Etihad over Old Trafford? I don't know. It might even come down to money. It might be who he's willing to go the highest when it comes to his transfer fee. He seems like the most expensive one as well. We've spoken about it several times. It looks like Elliot Anderson is going to cost you around at least 100 million quid. I think that is what you're looking at. There's talk of him maybe even being the British transfer record. I'm not sure. What is the British transfer record? Is that Declan Rice? Or am I getting that completely wrong? Is it 105? Let me know in the chat and the comments. I think it's something. It's over 100 million quid anyway. So if we want to bring in Elliot Anderson, we might have to pay, top whack for him. I kind of get it. I think at some point, if we are going to be challenging at the very top, if we are going to be overtaking the likes of Arsenal, the likes of Manchester City, maybe even Liverpool, you could throw them into that conversation. I know they're not doing, amazing this season, but they are the reigning champions. Do you need to spend big? Do you need to go out there and spend over 100 million quid on a player? Because whilst I'm sort of wary of the fact we've done this in the past where we've broke records and we've gone for big money players and it hasn't always worked out, at some point, if you're going to win a title, which is what United should be aspiring to do, you might have to push the envelope a little bit and go, right, we need at least one player here who is of that calibre, who is going to be a British transfer fee, especially if our rivals are going for him. I know you've got to be careful because sometimes you end up with Alexis Sanchez because your rivals are going for him. But I do think that Elliot Anderson might be that guy. Let me know what you think. Get involved in the chat and the comments. Akash Case says Grealish. Grealish was 100 million money. I think Declan Rice was more. Mick Holohan says Baleba. Dunno. Adam Kenny says instead of cash, would he accept petrochemicals? Yeah, that could be a move, couldn't it? I think we've got loads of them in EOS. Let me know who you want to see come into Old Trafford, because there was the idea that Baleba was going to be the guy, wasn't there, in the summer. Then he started having a bad season, And he has a very bad start to the season. He was getting subbed almost every game. His performances were up to scratch, and everyone was like, what is going on with Carlos Baleba? Has his head been turned? Is he just not the guy we thought he was? However, from what I see, his performances have improved, and it now feels like there's something there. Adam Wharton is another one. It made me laugh, right, because I was thinking it was Paul Merton. Paul Merson. He was on Sky the other week, and he was making the case against Elliot Anderson, and he was saying that Manchester United shouldn't be going for Elliot Anderson. He's not a United player. You shouldn't be getting a player from a team that are, near the bottom of the league, and Elliot Anderson, he's at Forest. Forest is struggling. You shouldn't be going for him. Should be going for Adam Wharton. And I looked at the table. Forest the 4th bottom, Palace the 6th bottom. Isn't that much difference? Like, don't get Elliot Anderson because he's in a team that are really struggling. Get Adam Wharton because Palace have got 3 more points than Forest. Does it make any sense? Not that everything Paul Merson says makes sense, but look, you can get a player from a struggling team. We got Roy Keane from Forest, who'd been relegated, but Roy Keane had been mint that season. And we went out and we broke the British transfer fee for him. I'm not saying Elliot Anderson's going to be another Roy Keane, but my point is you can get players, good players, from struggling teams. It happens. Just because someone is at a team that aren't doing that well doesn't mean they're a bad player. United have had very good players throughout our history from teams that have been struggling. It's happened time and time again. You look at some of the players we've had, like Everton weren't flying when we got Wayne Rooney from them. Go back in further. Dennis Irwin was at Oldham. There's always been that thing that United have looked at teams that have got really good players, teams that are maybe struggling, and you can go and get them. So I wouldn't be too put off by Nottingham Forest position because whenever I've watched them, Elliot Anderson has held a good account of himself. I don't think he's the reason that Nottingham Forest are struggling. And also, the 6 points from safety, there's a good chance they stay up. There's every reason to believe that Nottingham Forest can stay up. If they stay up, is it that much of an issue? If they finish 16th, 17th, are you going to go, well, we can't buy a player that's just kept his team in the Premier League? Why not? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Get involved in the chat in the comments. Do you think Anderson's the one? Do you think it's Carlos Baleba? Do you prefer Adam Wharton? I do like Adam Wharton from what I've seen of him. I've seen a little bit more of him than I've seen of Carlos Baleba. Forgive me. Let's see what people are saying. Oh, Valencia from Wigan, says Mr. Mankian. Yeah, Valencia, he came from Wigan. He was very good, wasn't he? Did well. Ben Picton says, we shouldn't sign Wharton because he plays for Palace. J9 says, Sander Burge needs a mention, low cost as well. Amir Fikri says, welcome to my club, biggest and best in the world. Big up Jay as well, he says as well. There's only 3 points between them teams that I've mentioned, says Adam Kenny. That's the point. That's the thing. It's this idea that, well, you can't get him from Forest because they're struggling, but you can get him from Palace who are 3 points above him. It's ridiculous. I think we've got some more. Is it on more on Anderson, is it? Yeah, this is sort of saying what we've been saying. Manchester United have identified Elliot Anderson as their first choice midfield target in the summer transfer window according to the Athletic. Athletic, very reliable. Listen, if I'm United, I would go all out for Elliot Anderson. I think he's a fantastic player, and I think him and Mainoo would work very well together. So I'd be doing everything I could to bring him to Manchester United. Also, I'd be trying to get one of the other ones. I'd be trying to get a Baleba or an Adam Wharton as well, because I think United are going to need at least 2 midfielders this summer. You're going to lose Casemiro. Hopefully we'll have Champions League football. We'll at least have European football. I think that's a given. So Manchester United are going to need a bigger squad than what we've got. Plus, you're probably going to lose Manuel Ugarte as well. What are you going to do? Just lose 2 midfielders and replace them with 1? No. You need at least 2 midfielders. Now, can you afford to go out and buy a Baleba and an Elliot Anderson? Yeah, I think you can. Genuinely, we were speaking about this last night. I think Manchester United should have at least 200 million quid to spend. If you look at it, we've not got loads of areas we need to strengthen. We do have areas we need to strengthen. Midfield is the obvious one. You could probably argue we need to bring in another striker. Maybe a right back as well. And then you're not looking too shabby, to be honest with you. You've got lots of options at centre-back. You've got Aidan Evan, Lenny Yoro, Lisandro Martinez. See what happens with Maguire. You could probably keep Harry Maguire. Then you've obviously got Matthijs de Ligt as well. Plus, you're going into the younger players. You've got Godwill Kakonki as well, players like that. So it's not like at centre-back you've got massive issues there. Left back, Luke Shaw is getting on a bit, and how much can you rely on him when it comes to injuries and stuff? I know he's having a very good season in terms of appearances and in terms of performances, to be fair to the lad, but maybe you need a left back. At right back as well, you've got Diogo Dalot. Yeah, maybe you could do with a full back, but in the sort of the winger roles, you've got Dorgu, you've got Bumo, you've got Cunha, you've got Shea Lacey. You could even maybe look at someone like, is Mason Mount fit in that mode? He's not a winger, is he? He's more of a 10. Is he your backup to Bruno? I don't know. I feel like we have got options, but just, it's the midfield in particular I think Manchester United need to strengthen. I think we need at least 2. Let's talk about Mainoo. Talking about midfielders. Fabrizio Romano has revealed that right up until Ruben Amorim's departure at Old Trafford, Mainoo was set on a move to Napoli. By the time Ineos decided to pull the plug on Amorim's Manchester United tenure, Mainoo had not made a single start in the opening 20 Premier League matches. The fact that the side under Amorim's management had failed to qualify for any European competition that season prior made the youngster's situation even more frustrating to navigate, as well as having to wait essentially a full week between each brief cameo he was being granted. Obviously, we know Mainoo he's happier now at Manchester United. He's been posting pictures on his Instagram about how happy he is at United. He's been playing very well since he come back into the side, and it looks like he could be on the verge of signing a new deal. It was very, very frustrating for me not seeing Mainoo get any starts under Ruben Amorim. I get the whole, well, it's that system, and he played Bruno there, and he played Casemiro there, and was he going to put Mainoo ahead of those two in that system? Probably not, but I thought the system was flawed, and I'm glad to see Mainoo back in the team. Long may it continue, and I hope he signs a new deal. What's this here we've got? Go on, it's all right. Is Man United no dickheads policy finally reaping rewards? This is an interesting one. Whether by accident or design. Oh, sorry. Just let me know when you're stopping. Right, thank you. I'll just start reading it and you keep scrolling, eh? Jesus Christ. Have Man United stumbled into bright sunlight? Have Ineos stumbled into a potentially very bright future for Manchester United? Or did Wilcox and co learn their lesson about letting an inexperienced manager bring an equally inexperienced staff, and instead, through their connections and discussions with Carrick, put together their ideal team, a balanced mix of experience and youth with genuine ties to the club and national team? So what this is arguing is about United DNA and maybe having a no knobheads or no dickheads policy. Look, it has been mint under Michael Carrick. The sort of the atmosphere around Manchester United, just as a fan at the ground, feels a lot better. I was at Ruben Amorim's last game, and you could see the fans were sort of getting a little bit divided, or were already divided, over the manager. And usually, not always the case, usually get the sort of, the match-going fans tend to stick with the manager and back a manager the longest. It's not a sort of rule set in stone, but that's what you tend to get, especially away the away matches. You tend to get those fans who will get behind the manager, who will give him, believe in giving him time. And there was a lot of that, but it wasn't universal. I spoke to a few fans who just had enough for Ruben Amorim, thought he wasn't right for the right man for the job. Since he's gone, obviously Darren Fletcher had those 2 games where there was an improvement in the Burnley game. The Brighton game just felt like more of the same, what we'd seen under Ruben Amorim, being brutally honest. But Michael Carrick's come in, got the place buzzing, got some good results, good performances as well, bit of belief, players look happier. It's just a different feeling in it around the club, a different feeling when you're watching the team, and a different feeling amongst the fan base. We'll have to see how long it lasts for. Obviously, this could be new manager bounce. I hope it's not. I hope it continues right through to the end of the season and beyond. But at the minute, things are a lot better. John Adair says, the biggest dickhead's still here. Hashtag Glazers out. Very good point. Santa Not says, was it Amorim or was it Ineos? Akash K, the Ruben Amorim chant was still being sung. Yes, it was, but not universally. It wasn't. And also, if you look at certain things like the players getting applauded, not everyone was feeling it at the time. Not everyone was feeling Ruben Amorim, and it's just wrong to say that everyone was, because they weren't. There was a lot of ag going on, for want of a better word, amongst fans. Even at the ground, I saw it at times when Ruben Amorim was getting stick off fans. I saw it when some people were applauding the team as they were doing a lap of honour, others weren't. Some were booing him. Some were arguing with the people that were booing him. It was getting pretty toxic. So I don't think it was quite universal that everyone was singing Ruben Amorim's name. There was a lot of fans that were, but not everyone. MN2K2 Shock says, Jay, Monday the 27th of April will be the day we get the announcement of Carrick's permanent appointment. unbeaten from now until then. That weekend is when we officially beat Ollie's record as interim. There you go. Mark that in your diaries. It's MN2K 2 Shocks. Let's give you the heads up there. Thank you for that. Dan Jolly says, caught you live for once. Morning, Jay. Morning. 22M says, Jay's top being extra shiny today. Don't forget, there's a link in the description. We'll put a link in the chat as well. Go and check out the merchandise. We've got a load of merch there. Thank you to everyone who supported the channel, and it's top quality stuff as well. Let me just put a little link in there for you people. And I'll pin that. That's in the chat and it's in the description too. Let's talk about commercial stats. So this is in The Athletic. They've done a big piece talking about what is happening with Manchester United sponsorship, the sleeve sponsor, the back of the shirt sponsor, all that stuff, how much money we lost because of not being in the Champions League. Hopefully, we're back in the Champions League next season, which is going to bring in extra revenue from sponsorship. Plus, there's, concern that some of our rivals are growing faster than we are. I mean, United as a sort of cash cow is still a cash cow, but not quite as much as we were. And a big part of that is because we've not been in the Champions League. There was a deal, I think, with Adidas, I think it was, where if we had 2 consecutive seasons in the without Champions League football, we took a big hit. Then that changed to it's just a season-by-season thing, which kicked in this season, I think. So it has been a bit frustrating because you know for a fact that the more money you bring in from sponsorship, hopefully the more money you can spend on players as well. I know the Glazers obviously have taken loads of money out of the club, but we also need to bring in money to buy players. So hopefully we get Champions League football, that'll see an increase in revenue. There's a tweet here, I think. It says Champions League qualification could allow Manchester United to spend over 200 million this summer, plus funds raised from player sales. We spoke about this last night. If we sell the likes of Marcus Rashford, Rasmus Højlund, then there should be some money coming in from that. What else have we got? Last one. Michael Carrick has been nominated for the Premier League Manager of the Month award for January. Well-deserved recognition for a strong month in charge. How can he not get it? Like, what are we doing here? Let's be real here. Let me just, not that I need to remind myself, but I want to do it anyway, just to make sure I'm not getting something wrong here in terms of my dates. So, in January, yeah, I mean, he managed 2 games, didn't he, in January? But what are 2 games to manage? City at home, won 2-0. Arsenal away, we won 3-2, obviously. So, yeah, give him that award. You're beating the top 2. You've inherited a club and a team that have been struggling. We weren't exactly flying. And you've took them over, and you've beaten the 2 toughest teams in the league, including one away from home as well. Yeah, I think that he should be a shoo-in for that award, but we'll see. He might even be the kiss of death. Ruben Amorim won it, didn't he? And that was pretty much the highlight of his United career. I don't think that'll happen with Michael Carrick. I think he'll be fine if he wins that, and I think we'll keep winning matches. Yeah, someone said Fulham. Fulham was the 1st of February. Also, someone said, don't give him Manager of the Month. It's the kiss of death. It usually is for a lot of managers, but I'm sure Michael Carrick will. Oh, go on. Oh, yeah, we've got that as well. Patrick Dorgu has been nominated for January's Player of the Month award. Cast your vote now. I mean, that is the ultimate no-brainer, isn't it? Yeah? How can it be anyone else other than Ballon Dorgu? Come on. He was absolutely phenomenal in January and scored probably the best goal the Emirates has ever seen. So, Matheus Cunha may disagree, but I certainly think Patrick Dorgu deserves that award, as Michael Carrick deserves that award as well. We're going to be back later on today. We've got it all happening today. We've got Uncensored. We've got Off the Bar. So you're going to be seeing and hearing from Adam McCullough, from Stephen Howson. Also going to be previewing the Spurs game. I think the manager's press conference is later on today as well because of the Munich memorial tomorrow. I think they've moved the presser today, so we'll have all the latest from Michael Carrick too. So make sure if you're not doing so already, you are hitting like, share and subscribe. I've been Jay Motti. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.